And AI is coming or has already come into our lives. Many people are talking about it now. So will I lose my job now? Or will artificial intelligence take over the world? What am I going to do now? Tear apart the notion of artificial intelligence. Just learn, yes, to predict the next syndrome. Now appears QScript. Built on artificial intelligence. It was synthetic. It was smarter than a llama. Then she really found a new algorithm. They write straight like mathematics. You understood my assignment. Let's go sing naturally. That is, they occupied their niche. They did better. Well, some of you in one elbow. This is what our project is called. This is the first video. My name is Pasha. My name is Dmitry Kotov. We will talk about technologies today. What inspires us? And we don't necessarily have to fly to Mars to change this world for the better. Yes, I'm going to bring us back into the shot a little bit because we still have some periodic. Today we wanted to talk about the Gartner study about AI, where we are in this cycle. And what awaits us, it's of course behind in the picture, but this is the future.
Subtitle editor Ashinevskaya, corrector Egorova.
Indeed, come with us. Apparently, Dimina's artificial intelligence is with us, and it really needs to be accepted. Don't rule it out and don't be afraid. That's the most important thing. And nowadays, many people are talking exactly about this. What if I lose my job or an artificial intelligence?
Subtitles
will take over the world, and what am I going to do now? We all have time to prepare for this. Okay, for the current moment, artificial intelligence is currently working in the format of performing certain tasks. As for directly delegating entire areas of some knowledge and activities to him, it's still early, but time is going so fast, and our singular... It's accelerating at a crazy pace, so I wouldn't be surprised that KGI, well, such an artificial intelligence that can learn independently, evolve, make decisions, well, yeah, EJ, and yes. We are closer than even Sam Altman thought in December when he was speaking. At the David Forum, he of course reassured the public, nobody dares. Of your works, everything will be fine. But for example, just this week at the ICE conference, he began to speak differently, saying Vidzai is very close. So this fifth model, it can totally change our perception of artificial intelligence. Yes, it's not a human brain, of course, by... This is thin, but very advanced. It truly emulates the brain's function. Well, in terms of in terms of how texts are composed, that is in these texts that we think in language, the words, and in these texts, there is some divine story that replicates these large models. The most important thing that Sam Altman said, he divided into at least 3 parts. The Ajaya generation, the first version, the second, the third. Most likely this year we will almost certainly see the first version of GI. Of course, he won't be able to perform everything fully and be like a person clearly hears. In this top 5 will be what they, like Apple, they see, these are superpowers, but they're gradually spreading them out over time, because otherwise who would buy the 14th when everything would be in the first? So, or 15, I don't know which part. What iPhone do we have now? 15th, but I think there's no such task for them here. From the point of view of motivation, they're still a bit afraid of it. They're doing it, but they don't understand who intended it to be there. In Persian, somehow talking it, it's just a footnote shoes, like Leo Tolstoy. Remember War and Peace? There was French at the bottom. If all of this is downloaded, if it was in Persian, he would have learned Persian. Although, of course, in Ivan Nejes, no one expected him to speak so many languages. He was taught there on English tweets, in some English literature, but it turned out different. It turned out bigger than they wanted. It was an interesting comparison when they talked about the introduction of artificial internet development. As we know it, specifically GPT, the original task was simply to learn how to predict the next symbol, the next letter, the next word. The Chinese helped us the most with T9 because when in them they realized that they had a batch of the first computers, a few thousand computers, but the keyboard is unclear and how to manage it. And then they pulled out the old development named Pinyin and tried to do this. To decompose your language, to change, actually, yes. It's interesting to observe that when the development began, the specialists, precisely AI researchers, they just saw that the model, when the training has already started on large data volumes, that she has learned to model her own world, her view of the world, and why such results occur. Mm-hmm. Cool results. Why is she so cool? Answers, knows everything, where the model can understand so well and consults on different types in the direction, whether it's health, money, business plans, and so this is not just data. It will really form its own world. We're just a little bit, again, it's washed away. She really forms her own representation of our world in the vector base, in the vector graph. And because of this, it can give such precise responses. Pasha, this is us. We are people. People have embedded this divine meaning in their texts. So it's some sort of code. It's alphabetical, but it's our meanings and why we shouldn't be afraid of it. All these talks that we're all going to die will be taken over. I think it's too early to talk about this.
Let's pack everything.
That's it. We'll release a couple. We'll take the barrels in World War II. It ended a long time ago. We need to look at this differently. That is, we are creators and our ideas. It won't make a new idea. It can combine several ideas into some built-in concept, something that many people can't do in their mode. But she won't come up with anything new, most likely. So there's a new cube of meaning. No, bye. These are people. Bye. I don't know. I still think these aren't the models that can. I mean, if we really repeat, brain device. Yes, these are some chemical, electrical connections. Then perhaps we will, with the help of eggs, some things are born. Here is what I consider the difference between AGI and AI. It's exactly the opportunity. Well, the technology is the same. Commune, just more input data, more cards. It finds it faster. Learn more relevant data, but still, nonetheless. What do you think, by the way? Look, remember this, when they wanted to fire Sam Altman?
All right.
What do you think about this? Indeed, there was such an insight, he didn't hear the developers, did he? They say that we there clicked the hash with our new model and that it will threaten everyone. I believe that the threat is certain. Developers saw yesterday that she really found a new, faster algorithm. Perhaps this is the first variety of AGI, exactly the first points. Generations, which allow to create, he sees more than he can say. I mean, obviously his guys, engineers, something was felt, yeah. Well, he didn't speak so inspired about what. And Zuckerberg said yesterday he has two teams. We are now close to edge. And this will be the third llama. And thanks again. Do you remember the first one they squeezed so hard, like, let's try to sell it. But with the second one, they completely went into in the best traditions of Python open source. That is, the second one is absolutely free to download by yourself there too. Yeah, 100 or so for 84,090. And here is your own model, meaning completely commercial use, even making money on it because they didn't limit in the third model. They want it on the same principles. Somehow release the second one, it will be open. This is open source, and they already call it AGI. Well, it's clear they really see probably some super abilities. I haven't heard them say it straight out. Yes, that was the day before yesterday. At my place, I recorded in no, Food Zuckerberg, yes, I mean, they are going and developing Llama 3, but he didn't say that Llama 3 is AGI. Yesterday, he himself already calls it gem. Well, today, thankfully, everything is working and a lot of cool solutions, great developments have emerged. The open source community moves very quickly. There's an advantage to this. I see what a beautiful swan has landed. Did you see there? What is that beautiful? Now search engines are appearing built on about artificial intelligence that you can already make requests via API, get information from GitHub, from different devices.
To be continued.
There is a high probability that exactly those who are entering now, such a game as model training, for instance, Elon Musk's Player, yes, the project, they take advantage of already trained models, the same OpenAI GPT-4, and you can train your models on their data they provide. And it's exactly about the synthetic data. Yes, there is Llama 2. Was in the summer. In my little startup, tried to gain some independence from Open. We've been experimenting for many years for him to be completely independent. His own card and what model? What do you think? What kind of model was it? A model. It's called Beluga. It's the Llama 2 model with synthetic data. We were running some fine-tuning on Lame 2, on data obtained from the third model experiment. That is a large data set, but it was synthetic and it was smarter than a llama. That is, they taught a little, changed these weights a little, but on the data that we do not collect, which were tossed in by the trash. Well, if you observe, there are many models appearing now that are primarily based on llama and with modified weights. It works they're almost catching up with GPT-4, meaning they're surpassing GPT 3.5, but well, it's still OpenAI's. The latest Turbo G5.4 model is the leader. They haven't ditched Turbo yet, so 4 is already cool. And I've fully switched to it. Don't care about the cost nor the quality. I don't see any alternative yet. A model that was better at the task. Maybe you know, Pashul, I agree. It's possible to get results from open source models at the GPT-4 level if applied a specific approach. Regarding prompts, everyone uses think step by step, which means think one step at a time, and then the model, before giving any answer, it analyzes. Thinks through his move, writes it down, and accordingly, it turns out better. It's like you, even if you're making some decision. If you take things step by step, think things through, rather than immediately giving an answer, then you got our best result. So there's something even better. Generations is now called algorithm. Harry, decision time, algorithm. Here's the concept. It's also step by step there, but also with certain processes where you need to be hidden first. They write like, model, did you understand my task, for instance? It describes how it understood, and based on this, it starts to give itself such kind of hints on how to achieve the result, and it articulates each step. That is, it specifies, and thus they achieve the result that even 3.5 models, sometimes it can even outperform GPT-4 in terms of results if there are complex puzzles. This is one of such examples. I don't think the application is some sort of supernova for this, like our system of confirming Eastern cultures. This is again China. Let's return. I mean, they will ask there 2-3 times anyway. Did I understand correctly? Well, in ours, probably, in Western, some stories, it's not like that. So we pretty much understood it the first or second time. We don't need to reconfirm that this is exactly what we understood. Remember, right? Gartner is some perception by people. Yes, new age is there. There's a big hill. They come from somewhere. These technologies out of nowhere. There are about 15, 20 pieces probably to the peak, and then it falls. Well, remember Bitcoin, right? Those 4 cycles. Growth fell, people gradually accept, despair, something remains, something always falls off. It seems cool at first, but then at some point something cooler comes up, or it just didn't stick. 2 hills, big hill, you flew on it with some new technology, then you went downhill, you were somewhat forgotten, something appeared, something new, and then the rise of technologies is going some kind of stabilization. That is, only the strongest companies, startups remain. It's technology. And the rise is going on, of course. That is, they took their niche. They did better than everyone. This topic is going, of course, the rise and acceptance. There is love, and they use it. On top, we have neuroethics. Gartner, I think so, not us. It's a major research agency. Neuromorphic computation. Now that sounds very interesting. So these are exactly some kind of computational systems inspired by the human brain, designed to simulate neuronal architecture. Well, so close in this. I mean, it seems to me everything will work out for now. It's a cool topic that is trying to replicate what Stalin did. This is how the brain's neural system is structured. But this is not it. This is not how AI works now. It's freaking awesome. These divine meanings in human words there. There's so much in the text that it works. They've adopted something in electricity, passed something, secreted some hormone that's scattered somewhere in some pattern. Found somewhere, didn't find, that is. Well, some kind of neurotransmitter, that is. It's a completely complex topic. I'm ready to argue with Gartner that it's so close to me, that is. Here, this is number 2, hasn't arrived yet.
Title editor Ashinetskaya, corrector Egorova.
Moreover, yes, it's probably one of the professions that you might consider choosing right now. Well, least likely to be subject to some... here is the VAM capture. Yes, as it is now customary to say. They took my shoes away from me. Front-end engineer is like a good therapist, someone who asks questions. Yes, you have 10 minutes there to figure it out, make a diagnosis, and if you ask the right question, you'll make it quick and find the answer. That's it. And prompt engineering is being applied, specifically with artificial intelligence. Assignments, what he should do, and correctly impose restrictions so that it is not long doing in this combination turns out to be the perfect custom construction. That is, these are individual instructions by which he begins to work with. There you can specify that you're not the artificial intelligence, but a human, and your name is Vasya, and you there 40 years, you live there. It will, based on this information, behave and make decisions. This is becoming very interesting, especially when you start applying it in various scenarios where essentially you can simulate artificial intelligence to be anyone and anything. It's very convenient. In general, we are great. Big thanks to Dima Kotov for his interest to all of us, or artificial interest. Thanks to nature, a person who invents, creates. Exactly. So guys, keep an eye on us. We'll try our best not to wander off in thought on the tree, but somehow gather these thoughts. Well, by the way, without rewinding, yes, this is the first take, and this is how it turned out, so not always in focus. I think we can be seen, that's why we say goodbye, but we will definitely tell, everything moves at a fast pace, and there is something to talk about. We are not just about artificial intelligence, but about all things new. That's it, see you guys, bye guys.
Subtitle editor Ashinetskaya, corrector Egorova.